Perhaps we're familiar with the words of African-American politician William Clay, who said, quote, "Politics is quite a game. There are no permanent friends, only permanent interests. No permanent enemies too." The political awkwardness in the Labour Party sank yesterday as its acting national chairman, Calistus Okafor, announced Jude Ezenwafor as the presidential candidate flagbearer for the party ahead of the 2023 elections. Meanwhile, a former governor of Anambra State and frontline presidential hopeful, Peter Obi, defected from the PDP to the Labour Party to actualize his dream. Ezenwafor had worked with successive governors of the state from Chinwoke Mbadinuju through Chris Ngige, Peter Obi himself, and to Willie Obiano. Now, the immediate past helmsman is Willie Obiano, you remember. Now, whatever enmity and or friendship between the two is not permanent. The coming days will be crucial, Jide.
Yes, the crisis and the Labour Party and the factionalization of the party is not exactly new. And it actually predates the coming of Peter Obi into the party.
Okay.
What usually happens is every electoral cycle, people will try to assert their relevance. That's when you suddenly realize that, oh, so this party has factions. Before now, you hardly hear anyone talk about the Labour Party as a party.
Oh, yeah.
But
in contention.
It's a party to reckon with. No one. But politicians have always seen in the Labour Party a vehicle to actualize their ambitions, especially when they fail to get the nod in any of the two dominant parties. They look in the direction of the smaller parties, like Labour Party, the SDP. You know, remember we even have Zenith Labour Party.
Okay.
Is the idea of Zenith Labour Party emanated from the division in the Labour Party itself.
Yeah.
So the point that I'm making is that every election year, you then see this crisis, rearing its head.
Okay.
But it's always been there, and this party especially have always had different factions. So I'm not surprised, but it's reassuring for Peter Obi and his supporters that INEC recognizes the faction that produced Peter Obi as his presidential standard bearer. So Peter Obi has nothing to worry about. Yes, he knows that the mandate that they gave him is a valid one, and he will get the chance to slug it out with Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu and other people.
Kola, but aren't you surprised that Nigerian politicians tend to build more walls instead of bridges? And we are saying it's a business of interest and so on. Must the interest override cohesion?
Incidentally, Labour Party, well, I'm very familiar with the party and its inner workings.
Tell me you are a member.
I was a member.
Okay.
In fact, I was a state chairman. Oh yeah, and so, but I wouldn't like to, go very deep into the politics. I've never been a member of any other party aside from Labour Party. The factionalization, present one, started in 2017 or so, when some members of the party felt that the then chairman, late, that he had exhausted his term, that it was time for him to go. So the present chairman now, Abure, was the acting national secretary then. Himself and the present acting, factional acting national chairman, Calistus Okafor, came together with majority of the member of that NWC then to have a convention in Abuja. And the late Michael Motosho, in fact, of blessed memory, who died last weekend in New York, he became the chairman. However, again, Dr. Lucio Mimiko came into the picture. Remember, he's been, of course, he was the, the party produced him as the governor in 2007 or so. I think he came in 2009 in Ondo State. So at a point, he came into the party, and as soon as he brought, of course, dough on the table, some members, the same group that actually went for that convention, he was able to get some of them. Chief among them is Abure, the present chairman of the faction that INEC has, given his nod. So thereafter, the other faction went to court. But even before then, there was an agreement between the NLC, that should be the original owner of the party, and the political class who were running the party. And that case is still in court till now. I think Barrister Femi Falana is the one, of course, in charge of that. So I think that factionalization started since that time, but they should be able to sit down and harmonize their interest for the interest of the party. For me, I think it should be a party that should be given the right alternative to Nigerians. But unfortunately, it's like every other party you have in Nigeria. Yeah,
Jude, is it wrong to look at or to envision a dark horse here, what you people know as a third force? Mm-hmm. And then you look at Peter Obi's fortunes as we sit here.
Yeah, Peter Obi is doing well. On social media, it looks unassailable. There is no candidate at this time that can defeat him on social media.
I like that phrase.
His base on social media is a very strong one. But just as my mentor, Danladi Bako, said yesterday, there is no polling booth on social media.
Yeah, not one.
So you can actually be extremely popular on social media and be somebody unknown on the political field.
From home.
Yes, you can be a tiger on social media and a lamb
in real life.
In real political life. So this is what we see. I hope that it can build on that tremendous goodwill on social media. I can translate that to cross-country appeal, cross-country support. Is contesting as the standard bearer of a party now. Is not somebody's deputy. So hopefully he will be able to justify the confidence reposed in him.
Create a top impression.
And do quite well in the election. This is what I expect to see, but there's a lot that he has to do.
I think there's something that it may not be the right time to bring it out. I think Peter Obi, I hope, is a candidate on his own that is ready for the election. I'm dropping that as a hint. I hope he is a candidate on his own that is ready for the election, because a lot of Nigerians are right now investing hopes in him. But I'd like you to please trace his emergence or his sudden emergence in the Labour Party. He went around the entire country talking to PDP delegates from state to state. Then, the day after he finished that, he left the country. A few days after, he came back, and by the following day, he went straight to Labour Party. And he has not said anything against PDP, of course, fundamentally, and nothing against Atiku.
Maybe that time has not come.
Yeah.
Let's give him benefit of the doubt.
And of course, I hold on to the statement that in politics, the friendship is not permanent, the enmity is not, only the interest.
Yes.